And speaking of our big guys, there we go. Tim Doyle, Kenny White, Wizard of Odds. Let's start with the game. And Kenny, I'll start with you. Denver on the highway against Golden State. You don't want to go down 2-0. Phil Jackson used to say, if we go up 2-0, you got to go 4 out of 5 to beat us in the series. My math still says that's correct. Golden State's favored by 7, total 222. What do you want to do?
Yeah, that's a very good point by Phil Jackson, and I'm sure that Steve Kerr actually realizes that as well. And this Golden State team is going to be very dangerous if we can stay healthy. If is a big word, 2 letters, but if Klay Thompson, Green, and Curry all stay healthy, they've got a surrounding cast there now that really helps them, because it's a solid defensive supporting cast with some scorers. Jordan Poole, one very excellent player, and they're up against the Denver team. And I heard Tim say this 3 months ago. If Jokic wasn't on Denver, they'd be one of the worst teams in the NBA. There's no truer statement. They've only got one other guy, and that's Aaron Gordon, that could start for everybody else in the NBA. Will Barton could only start for maybe 3 or 4 teams, Portland and Oklahoma City. That's the only teams he could play for. He's a below-average player. So this is a very weak Denver team. Golden State's defense is just too good. And even though Steph's only playing about 22, 23 minutes, Golden State rolls here.
Yes. I mean, Kenny said it all right there, right? We all knew Denver was having an outstanding regular season. And Casillas, I know this, right? Being the main anchor there at HQ, I know that you have borderline genius in you. Steve Kerr almost took the New York Knicks job. He went, Knicks, Warriors. In your eyes, is that the greatest sports decision of all time, what Steve Kerr did, taking the Warriors job over the Knicks?
Yeah, I mean, sure. And the other side, somebody took Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan. I mean, yeah, you got it both ways there. So, yeah, that worked out okay for him.
I had some other ones, okay? The Yankees signing George Herman Ruth, excellent decision as well. Nike signing Michael Jordan, and the New England Patriots drafted some guy named Brady.
And oh, by the way, nobody wants to remember, there were a lot of people, draft expert guys, who are now fading back going, no, it wasn't me. But if you pull out the tape, that liked Ryan Leaf better than Peyton Manning, and were killing them for taking Manning over Leaf, because Peyton Manning couldn't win big games in college. 0 for 4 against Florida, won national championship year after he left. Yeah, there have been some bad decisions that have been avoided.
I was not that guy, but I told everybody, you got to take Greg Oden over Kevin Durant. Oden's going to change the franchise, going to block shot. What was I thinking? Just because I had some bad memories of Oden kind of punching shots off my head. Kenny said it all about Denver. Is this a game they make 22 threes and they keep it close? I guess it's the NBA. Anything could happen. But I think they'd be lucky, I repeat, lucky to win 2 games in this series. So I'll lay the points here.
You know, there were 6 players picked before Steph Curry as well.
Are we going to look back and say that getting Ja Morant instead of Zion was the best thing that could have happened to you?
Only time will tell. Bit of a butterfly effect in the fold. We'll see what Zion can do. I think I've made my case pretty clear on where I stand on that one. Ja doing it in the playoffs. Zion watching from the sidelines. Game 1, Steph did have to give his blessing here, one would assume, coming off the bench, not hearing his name in lights or seeing it. That is 16 points over those 22 minutes of action coming off the bench as he ramps back up to a full workload from the ankle injury. Point prop tonight's coming in at 20.5, so it really becomes a question of where is that minutes restriction. TD, are we looking at a bargain number or still not enough tick to play this one over?
You know, it's really interesting because the second game back is always like the second day going back to a gym, right? The first day you feel amazing, right? You're like, you're doing exercises way too aggressive, like you're lifting weights. Like, I feel fine. That second day, you feel horrible, right? You're like, oh, my back hurts. Like, I was rebounding for a kid the other day. All of a sudden, my thumb just started hurting me. Like, that's when you know you're 39 years old. You're like, ow, my thumb hurts. I'm going to go under here just because he's getting a lot of support. And does he really have to turn the Jets on right now against Denver in a first-round series? I don't know. You know, Kenny, going under, I feel like you're asking for it with Steph Curry, but I got to give you credit. Yesterday, I went to my family's Easter party, and, like, little kids were gathering around me, and I was reading them all the lines of the day and stuff, and they said, Uncle Timmy, what's the bet that stands out to you the most? And I said, Kevin Durant under points in Boston. And Kenny, it ended up being a winner. They said, you can bet under on a player. I said, you can bet any player, anything. And then I went like this to a kid, and I said, you got $6 in your pocket. And they said, what? I said, it's from The Natural. It's an old movie.
He had $8 in his pocket. That kid. Actually, he should have had 11.
Actually, you got $10 is what the line is. But that's okay. I was gonna let it go. Go ahead.
We came to a consensus.
Well, then he won $9.09 on the straight bet under on Durant. Now he's got $19.09. I'm going under too, Tim, and I'll just break the numbers down. But I think you're right. Your analogy going to the gym. If for me, it's the golf course. If I haven't golfed in a year and I go out there on the first hole, I'll hit it right down the middle. I'll chip to the green. I'll putt and I'll par, and that'll be the last par of the day because then I'll start overthinking and everything will start flying everywhere. But you know what? Looking at Curry's year, he's had 10 games this year where he played between 27 and 30 minutes. That was his low mark on the season. Only one time in those 10 games did he score more than 20 points. And you know he's only going to get 20 minutes in this game. So to go over, basically, he's got to score a point a minute. He's not going to do it. He's going to put up 15, 16 points again, just like he did in game one.
Steph is a scratch index, so I don't know if that plays into the golf analogy whatsoever or
Very
our
nice
play
by
on this
you,
one.
yeah. All right, let's go to Nikola Jokic, right? So we got a guy here. We're at 50.5. That is an astronomical number. Now, it is the points and the rebounds and the assists, and he's been a double-double and then a triple-double machine. He had 41 in game one. He had 25 field goal attempts and still only ended up with 41. But it's because he only had 10 rebounds and 6 assists. This is a number that is hard for me to go over. I kind of feel like it's under or stay away. Anyone make a case for the over, Kenny White?
Not me. I'm making a case for the under once again. You know, his overall for the entire season is the median number is 48. On the road, it's 46. Against Golden State, it's 46. And then I went back, well, you know, that's a subpar game he had at 41 last game, game one. So I went back and I did every game that he did 42 points, rebounds, assists, or less. What he did the next game, the median was 43. He really didn't have a response to a bad game with a great game after it. So I'm expecting the same thing out of Jokic tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Number one defense in the NBA. I've got to go under.
Yeah, you know, Bon Jovi sang a song in the late 90s. I'm going down in a blaze of glory. That's what Jokic is going to go down here, in a blaze of glory. You know the previous 4 games in the month of April. Listen to this. 4 games in April. He was averaging 38 points, 17.5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Here's what I say to that. That boy good. He real good, okay? And what I mean by going down to the blaze of glory is they have no shot to win this series, but Jokic is going to end up winning the MVP, and he knows that going into Game 2 and Game 3 and how many games are left, he has to do whatever it takes. So like Eric said, he took nearly 30 shots. He knows that going into Game 2, things are going to have to kind of be the same. So he could put up 40 points. You know, the one thing the Warriors don't have is a center that can guard him, so he knows he has to score the basketball at an alarming high rate. So I apologize to Bon Jovi. I put in my freshman year at St. John's in the media guide that my favorite song was Living on a Prayer. And 20 years later, it still might be.
We'll see if he gets 7 whistles the way the MVP runner-up got.
You know, I do like the idea, though, that he's got to know right now, look, if we're going down, we're going down with you. So he's going to give you everything he's got tonight, which is why, to me, that's a stay-away number.
We'll see if he empties the tank or throws the headband back on for a little good, for a little good omen there. All right, that's where our sharps stand on the big names. But our edge in the prop market, guys, often a little bit further down the box score. Kenny White, take us to your top prop by the Bay.
Yeah, I was looking through these props trying to find a really good under, and I really couldn't find a good under. And I struggled onto Draymond Green, and I started looking at what he's done. And his points, rebounds, assists are at 25.5. When he plays high minutes, which that's what he's going to get here in the playoff game, his median's 27. He had 27 the first game. I just think he's kind of the heart and soul of this team, and he does all 3 well, scores, rebounds, and assists. So I'm going to go over with Draymond tonight.
Yeah, he's such a better player, Kenny, when he has better players around him. You know, it's hard to explain, and it's not like this is an insult, but when you put more guys around him that can make shots, he has such a high basketball IQ. He makes other guys better on the floor. Like, you don't want him to be your second guy, but when he's your 4th guy, your team's pretty good because he's going to make those other 3 guys, especially scoring the basketball, so much better. Yesterday, my favorite prop was Giannis over rebounds. Joe Musso, cash that ticket, my friend, all right? And I'm going to go over Jokic rebounds. I talked about the previous 4 games before game 1 against Golden State. He was averaging 17.5 rebounds over a 4-game stretch in April. And this season, he averaged nearly 14 rebounds a game. You know, they always wanted to make that Dirk Nowitzki comparison to Larry, but this is the closest thing I've seen to Larry Bird just because of the rebounding. Maybe doesn't shoot it as well as Larry, because you've got to remember when Larry was playing at Spring Valley in Indiana, there was no three-point line. So what would have Larry done if he would have played his whole career with that three-point line? So I like over Jokic. This is like, I think he like empties the tank here. Whoever said that, Musso, Casillas, whoever said that is right. Like, he knows this is like do or die, and he's going to do whatever it takes in this game.
Tim, you know, Giannis over fouls also cashed a night ago because he got whistled for 7 of them. But it's a different conversation for a different day.
I like the idea of what would happen if Larry Bird was playing today and nobody could touch him. I mean, you had to maul him to keep him. If he had 6'9", the way he shot could shoot over people, I mean, he'd be Steph Curry behind the arc and what he was inside the, I mean, forget it. I mean, he's perfect for today's game. Anyway, the updated series price is getting a little ugly now, right? I mean, I know it's 1 game in the books, but they aren't giving Golden State away. Golden State's minus 600. Denver's plus 450. If you want to just sort of average that, it's about a 15% chance that Denver's going to win this series. Kenny, do you want to take the plus 450 and take a flyer, or are you hammering them and saying, no way, no how, I'll give $6 to win one here?
Well, I have no interest in the Nuggets. I made the Warriors 10 in this game, laid the 7, and I just think they're the better team. They'll win the series. I gave out on HQ and Sportsline here back when the price came out, minus 220. And then at minus 250 when the series started. Golden State, I thought, was one of the best series prices. I don't want to tell anybody to lay $6, but if you were going to bet it, that's the only way you can bet it. If you want to parlay them to the Suns and the Bucks to maybe get another $1 or $2 on your money, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I think this is. I do think Denver gets a game. So I'll go Warriors in 6. Warriors in 5. So you can bet specific finishes to series, and then you're going to get, you know, maybe that might be minus 110 or plus 210. That would be interesting to see as we go through these series what the exact finish would be of the series if you want to jump in. Because, yeah, you can't bet this because the Warriors are going to win the series. Their price is too high. The only way Denver's going to win the series if, you know, 3 guys in the Warriors get hurt. I guess that could happen. But you could bet specific finishes, and then it becomes really weird. Because then you bet the Warriors for the series, but then also you need Denver to also win a game just to keep everybody happy.
Yeah,
so,
but I like that. You get the gentleman's sweep, as they call it, where Golden State wins the first 2 at home. They knock out Denver in Game 3. They're up 3-0. But Denver in front of the home fans gives them that one little rattle and wins Game 4, and everybody just gets on the plane to go to Golden State for the coronation in Game 5, which is called the gentleman's sweep. When you win the first 3, let them have one in their building, and then you knock them down in Game 5. So Warriors in 5 may be a very good call there. You have any interest in taking the plus 450 with Denver?
Not at all.
All right, so nobody wants any part of Denver. Let's take a look and see what our guys want you to do when it comes to this series. I mean, look, we don't like favorites, but we like the Warriors as a favorite tonight because basically they're saying Denver is dead team walking. They like Curry under the 20.5. You see a split on the Jokic 50.5. You figure they're going to get a lot of opportunities for everything tonight because you got to go down with your best player. And you see their top prop, Tim likes Jokic over the 14.5 rebounds. And Kenny, the Draymond Green, triple, almost double, but total to be 26 or more.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.